Welcome to Tinkering Every Day. I'm Jesse, and today we're going to take a look at the Latte Panda Delta. We're going to do some gameplay and run it through Windows, and let's kind of dive into this machine and see what it's all about. This is the Latte Panda Delta. I've been asked by Adam from Everday Retro Gaming, link in the description below to check out his channel, but he would wanted me to kind of dive into this, do a closer look at it, show a little bit of operation, a little bit of gameplay. Now this is the Latte Panda Delta. It's the little brother to the Latte Panda Alpha. I'll put a picture on screen of the specs in a little bit, or I'll just kind of go over it, what I know off the top of my head. This is the version, the 4 GB version. I think the Alpha has 8. I'll look at the specs here in a little bit. But it's a single board computer. Right now it's considered to be one of the higher performance ones. Even the Delta is still kind of above the Raspberry Pi, I think by quite a bit. I might do a video in the future kind of specking out the Raspberry Pi, the Odroid, and the Latte Panda. I'll do a comparison video. As for right now, kind of we'll get him a little bit more. It has regular HDMI output, Ethernet jack there. There's your headphone jack. This USB Type C port is its power inlet. That's what gives it power. You have 3 USB 3.0 slots. On the back, this is the Wi-Fi adapter and antenna. Got some ports for ribbon cables, for display, for touch screens and that kind of jazz. We've got all our GPIO pins for hooking up multiple projects and cameras and whatever you want to use a project board for. This one is also capable, like the Raspberry Pi. It's got a little bit more horsepower. And I think this one, Raspberry Pi, is with, I think not even with the power supply and the stuff to run, it's like $50 now. It used to be advertised as a $30 computer for the 3 and the 3B Plus. Now it's getting up to be about $50. This one with Windows not activated, I think was about $200 to the door. Now, when it says Windows isn't activated, it's kind of funny because Windows is actually installed on here, and it does work. I mean, not being activated, it won't let you personalize it or do some custom options. I haven't really explored it, really did a deep dive into see what the difference between activated Windows and non-activated Windows is. But you can still use it, and you just can't personalize it. But for a $300 license, I mean, I don't care. I've been using it as a little gaming device and streaming all my Netflix and Prime and all that. And the most it does is just in the bottom right corner, it just says, please activate Windows. I mean, when you're watching like a YouTube video or Netflix and it's like see-through and kind of faint. So to get that to go away for $300, I don't care. It looks, I mean, you don't notice it after a while anyway. And it's like, I'd rather deal with it instead of shell out $300 for Windows if that's all it's going to do, because I haven't really seen any functionality I can't do with the deactivated Windows except like make my tasks. I tried to make the taskbar go away when I was watching a video and it wouldn't let me. It said you need to activate Windows. So I was like, that's the only thing it hasn't let me do so far. But if you go into Internet Explorer or you get the YouTube app, it'll let you do it. It'll let you go full screen without your taskbar anyway. So if you just dig hard enough, there's ways around it that you don't have to activate Windows. Just every once in a while in your video game or your video, it might pop up, please activate Windows. But it's a mild inconvenience for $300 that you can live with, not having to spend that money. But all right, let's kind of get into some gameplay and see what Windows looks like on this device. All right, let's hook this thing up so we can check it out. Now on the back side is your power and your display. So we'll go ahead, hook up our USB-C power. I think we need the extra audio for this. Hook up our HDMI cable. And we're gonna need a control device, so there's our USB dongle for our keyboard. Okay. There it is, all hooked up. Now, power for this is on the left side. So we hold it down for 3 seconds, give it power. The blue LED light just came on. There's our cappuccino colored panda logo. As you can see, it doesn't take Windows very long to load up. That's nice. Alright, there's the Latte Panda Delta loading Windows. Looks like any other PC. And then I got a secondary monitor to the left there if you want to see how to run 2 monitors set up on a Latte Panda Delta. Go ahead and check out my other video on that. It's a lot easier than you think. Here are the specs and features of the Latte Panda Delta. I will link their website in the link below so you can check it out a little closer. Alright, let's check out our Latte Panda Delta in action. I have a future pinball program queued up. That's what I originally intended to use this thing for when I bought it. So Future Pinball is a virtual pinball program that you use to render virtual pinball tables. And it's an editor, so if you want to dabble in to do some table editing or just kind of change an existing table that someone has created. Somebody recreated a table from the 90s called Scared Stiff. It's like Elvira and the Party Monsters, kind of a Halloween-themed pinball table that was actually created in the mid-90s, I believe. We'll go ahead and check that table out. So you go over here to Play Table. I can show you what it kind of the performance of this thing and what it does. It does 1080p playback. It's actually it runs this game pretty good. I have it on everything on medium settings. That's usually where you should run it unless you have a really high dollar PC. But right now I'm just running this program. It's called Desktop Mode. Now this particular program is set up to be like a simulator. So you can use several monitors, 3 monitors usually, that one to do turned sideways to do the playfield, one turned sideways to do the back box, which displays your score and the title of the game and all that information, and then a small monitor for what's called the DMD display. You can get an actual DMD dot matrix display from certain computer supply stores or virtual pinball stores, that kind of thing. Most people are just using a smaller standard monitor, and there's a computer program that runs alongside this one that renders like a a red dot matrix simulation, which is pretty sufficient for most everybody doing this. It's the easiest way to go, most cost effective. There's no programming involved and all that, so it's usually what most people did. It's what I did for my big machine. It works great. Just a little bit of tinkering to get it to work, of course, with everything else. Alright, so we have our pinball table going here. Let's add a coin. Couple coins. Hit the start button. Yeah, I usually play flippers up as my pinball style. Catches a lot of, especially like on a table where there might be some lag involved with this kind of deal. So playing flippers up kind of takes care of your mistakes. Like if the ball's flying faster than you can see it because of latency, then you can it usually will save your butt a little bit. Yep. I don't have a capture card or a capturing device, so I apologize for the kind of graininess of this video capture. We're just doing it straight off the monitor, like a first-person point of view. Hit the flipper to stop the spider. Oh, darn it. Not doing so hot. And I'm just using a standard keyboard to play. You can use a USB decoder, which will let you operate arcade buttons. I'll get more into that maybe in another video. But on my big machine, I've got buttons ran by a USB decoder. That's pretty neat. And you can make simple joysticks with a USB decoder. I'll probably do a video on that in the future. It's neat because you can make a joystick out of anything. You can get better pay attention here. Lost my bonus. Oh, got one. Lost my extra ball. Oh, nope, saved it. Nice. Come on. Jackpot. Oh, jackpot. Oh, there it was. Another jackpot before I lost it. Ooh, and got the bonus. Got another crate bonus. Nice. Try again. Oh, ball saved. Come on, get it in the crate. Missed. Oh, lost it. Anyway, you can make a joystick almost out of anything. You get the USB buttons, or the arcade-style buttons off of eBay or Amazon. You can get a really basic, cheap kit for like $20 to $30 for the joystick and all the buttons. And you can make a joystick out of a shoebox or just plywood, anything you have laying around, really, that has a surface you can play on and you can drill into. I'll make a video on maybe making one out of a shoebox. Or I've got an arcade console out of an old Mortal Kombat arcade. It's a 2-player console. Just the play console itself, like the play deck, nothing else. I just bought that piece to kind of build an arcade machine just from that, out of scratch. And I never ended up doing that. I hooked it up as a like a bar top at one time. That was kind of a neat little build. But I'll probably wire one of those up in another video. Let you check out how you wire up an arcade fight stick or multiple fight stick, 2-player fight stick. Alright, that's some of the gameplay here. Let's back out. Go into our rendering options, preferences, rendering options. We'll run up the speed here. We'll go maximum settings. Let's see how it plays. Let's try that again. It's kind of at medium settings. I mean, it runs it really well, but at maximum, I think we're going to be taxing this Latte Panda Delta about as far as it'll go with the its internal GPU capability. You really need a video card if you want to do multiple displays and 60 frames a second to make it realistic. There's a little lag on the intro. Let's see here. Is that a coin?
Are you ready to
Start. Let's check our flippers. The latency on the flippers isn't too bad. Let's fire the ball. Yeah, it's definitely a little laggy. It's still playable. Let's see here. It's still playable. Actually, it's not too horrible. I mean, and when you run maximum display, it's like showing all the little reflections on the ball against the objects and against the models, and which I don't know if you really need that. You don't really notice it too much. Like the reflection in the ball, I don't think it's that important for just casually playing a game. If you want to get crazy and simulate a system, you're going to want a bigger computer than a Latte Panda Delta anyway. You're going to want one with a full graphics card, and multiple graphics cards. But as far as just getting a Latte Panda Delta and hooking this up to play desktop, it does really well. Now, if we add multiple displays, this thing will chug so bad that there's no point in adding another display. I've done extensive testing with the Delta, and it just will not run multiple displays and be playable at the same time. So just running casual desktop mode like this, if you just want to play pinball that's kind of more realistic than just your average, you know, download from marketplace pinball game. This one's definitely a lot more involved. You can get user-created tables. You can add to it yourself. You can edit the table. That's something that this does that a regular pinball game won't let you do. If you want to do some coding and do some editing, visual editing, you can do that with this. It's kind of neat. I've done a little editing. It's very complicated. You got to know programming and code language. Like if you grew up with MS-DOS and programming with BASIC, you'll be just fine, but I never got into it that far. It's really pretty advanced. Alright, I think you get the point. Latte Panda Delta gameplay pretty good on this virtual pinball program. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Stay safe and always remember to keep tinkering every day. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, smash that like button, comment, and subscribe.